What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a good day. I know I am, because it's another video, so let's get it started. So, if you didn't know, I'm a pretty big comic book fan, superhero fan. I'm into that sort of stuff. And so today I want to talk about some of the recent developments that have been going on in the DC Extended Universe. That's the DC movies that are coming out within the foreseeable future. The DCEU, which we'll be calling it for short, has come under a bit of, shall we say, critical bashing lately, with Rotten Tomatoes giving the last two movies in the DCEU, Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, pretty bad scores. But hopefully that's going to change with the upcoming two films, Wonder Woman and Justice League. Now these next two films are going to be pretty big for two different reasons. One reason is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is going to be the first superhero film with a female lead. Now apparently this is a big thing. I don't see why it is. I just see all superhero films as basically one of the same blood. So it's not going to make a difference to me. I'm going to go see it anyway. I'm really looking forward to it. Have been looking forward to it. I've been especially pumped about the fact that Ares is the main villain. I think he's a great character. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to go see Wonder Woman. The second reason that the next two films are going to be pretty is Justice League. Justice League comes out in November. It is going to be the first time that the DC superheroes have all teamed up together in one big event. I'm pumped about that. I saw the Justice League cartoon growing up. It was one of my favorites. It was one of the reasons I got into watching superhero movies and reading comic books later on. So I'm going to be pretty excited about that. Now the thing about these next two movies is that everything is really riding on them. Now there have been some early reports that Wonder Woman has done fairly well with the critics. It's just not going to receive a wholehearted welcome from everyone because we're still getting used to the way that DC does things. To be honest, at this point, I can't gauge how Wonder Woman is going to go. I mean, the way that it looks from the trailers, it looks like a great movie. It's got a good, strong plot. It's set in World War I, which I think is a good direction to take the film because you don't see a whole lot of World War I based movies anymore, so I think that's going to make it a bit more interesting than, say, if they set it in the modern era, like all the other DC movies. I think another reason that Wonder Woman is going to do so well, at least I think it will, is because it is going to be the last tie-in film to Justice League. You had Batman v Superman, which sort of set up the whole heroes coming together concept. And then you had Suicide Squad, which introduced the fact that there are other metahumans out there. And at the end of Suicide Squad, Bruce Wayne gets a whole bunch of files from Amanda Waller on different metahumans. So the last two films have been sort of building up to Justice League, and Wonder Woman, I believe, is going to be the one that ties it all in together, and that's why it's very important that DC and Warner Brothers get this exactly right. I think that from what has been coming out about the movie, that they've done a pretty good job at that. The director, Patty Jenkins, has a very specific vision for the movie that I have heard and read in articles and stuff like that, that it's going to be really good, so I'm looking forward to it. I know I'm going to go see it. It comes out in June, just a few weeks from now, so I'm definitely going to go see that. Focusing now more on Justice League, there's a lot of speculation about Justice League, specifically regarding three main points of interest for the movie. First one is Green Lantern. A lot of people are wondering, is Green Lantern going to show up in Justice League? And the reason that is because, if you didn't know, Green Lantern was one of the original founding members of the Justice League when they first appeared in the comics back in 1962. So there's a lot of fan pressure on this subject. Some say that you can't really have a Justice League without Green Lantern of some sort because there have been multiples. Most people are leaning favorably towards Hal Jordan being the Green Lantern that shows up. A lot of people have been calling for Armie Hammer to play the role, and he has been known to troll DC fans on Instagram, Twitter, about his possibly being involved in the role, which I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But if not Hal Jordan, some people have also been suggesting that John Stewart be the Green Lantern who appears in this. A lot of names have been thrown around for John Stewart, but a lot of people seem to be favoring Tyrese Gibson to play the role. either way, whatever Green Lantern they could potentially choose for the movie, Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner, I don't really care as long as I see a Green Lantern in the movie. That's going to be one of the key selling points for Justice League for me, and I know it's going to be the same with a lot of different people. The second point on Justice League that a lot of people are concerned or puzzled about is where's Superman? Now, if you didn't know, because I'm about to throw out a spoiler, at the end of Batman v Superman, Superman died after he was stabbed in the heart by Doomsday. Now, obviously, you also can't have a Justice League without Superman, because he is the original superhero. He is practically the chairman of the Justice League most of the time. So, lots of people have been wondering, since he's been absent from most of the promotional artwork and the trailers, where is Superman? And obviously, since he's dead, he can't join the team immediately. But Henry Cavill has notified us, plus we all pretty much guessed it right away, that Superman is going to be back in Justice League. His name is on the cast list. He will definitely show up by the end of the movie, coming back effectively from the dead. We just don't know how. Now, the prevailing theory about this that I've had a lot of different theories myself, but the one that I have is that Superman will be resurrected by the film's villain, Steppenwolf, who I'll get to next. But he has been resurrected by Steppenwolf, and he has been brainwashed to serve the Hordes of Apocalypse. Those are the bad guys, the parademons. And the Justice League doesn't really stand a chance against Superman alone, so they need him on their side. And in Batman v Superman, we know that the Flash came back from a timeline where Steppenwolf and Darkseid and the villains won, and Superman was pretty much supreme dictator of the world. And the Flash told Batman in Batman v Superman, Lois Lane is the key. Now I think that they're going to bring Lois in to stop brainwash Superman, snap him back to reality, and by the end of the movie, Superman will be back in action and he'll be fighting on the side of the good guys. The only reason that they haven't shown Superman in most of the promotional artwork and the trailers, I think, is because they don't want to reveal that right away. That they want to build up to it. And I'm glad that they haven't shown Superman in any of the trailers yet. I don't want to be spoiled on how he comes back or where he comes back or what he looks like when he comes back. I just want to be able to go to the theaters in November, sit myself down, watch the movie, and when Superman comes back, he comes back, and I'll be happy about it. So I'm glad that they're not showing him in any of the trailers and stuff, and I'm happy about that. And the third point about Justice League is the main villain, Steppenwolf. Now, we haven't seen Steppenwolf show up in pretty much anything. The only glimpse that we've seen of the bad guys in the Justice League trailers or anything that has come out relating to Justice League are the parademons. The parademons are effectively the henchmen of Steppenwolf, who is the commander of Darkseid's armies. Darkseid is like DC's biggest bad. Now, we've only seen the parademons so far, and people are wondering, what's Steppenwolf going to look like? Where is he going to come in? And in truth, we've already seen Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf showed up in one of the final scenes of Batman v Superman in the Kryptonian scout ship appearing to Lex Luthor. But they cut that out of the theatrical version, so a lot of people who didn't buy the extended edition of the film and haven't seen that, or at least haven't seen the deleted scene online, don't know what Steppenwolf's going to look like. People have been wondering when Steppenwolf's going to show up in the trailers. And in truth, that's another thing that I don't want to see until I get to the theaters and sit down. Like, maybe a tease in the trailers, but I don't want to see full-on Steppenwolf in action in any of the trailers. And I've been reading a lot of articles and interviews and stuff like that. The guy who's playing Steppenwolf is an actor named Ciarán Hinds. He's been on Game of Thrones and stuff like that. He said that Steppenwolf is going to be a bit different from your traditional, like, world-conquering bad guy. He said he's going to be sort of broken down. He's going to have run campaigns for Darkseid pretty much his entire life, and he doesn't really want to be doing it anymore, but he does it anyway because he's under Darkseid's command. I don't want to see pretty much any glimpses of Steppenwolf at all. I want to be able to see that sort of character in the theater, like raw experience right up front, and I'm glad that they haven't shown him so far. Just like Superman, I do not want to see Steppenwolf until the film, but apparently there was a release of some Lego sets a while ago for the Justice League movie, and the Steppenwolf figure was in those sets. But as history has shown, we can't always rely on Lego sets to be reliable depictors of movie plots. They released a set for Iron Man 3 when it came out that showed the Mandarin, or at least who we thought was the Mandarin, Ben Kingsley's Mandarin, fighting Iron Man with some sort of vehicle attack thing. Now, obviously, when we watched Iron Man 3, we found out that Ben Kingsley's character wasn't the actual Mandarin at all, so we know that scene didn't make it to the movie. So, yeah, Lego sets aren't always reliable depictors of movie events, so we don't actually know if the Lego figure of Steppenwolf is what Steppenwolf looks like, so that's up in the air. Now that we've got the movies aside, let's talk about some of the recent news rumors and stuff like that. So the biggest rumor that comes to my mind right off the bat, so if you didn't know, for the upcoming Shazam movie, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, sort of a big deal, has been cast to play the villain Black Adam. That is the only casting related news that has come out of Shazam for a while. Recently, Dwayne tweeted out that he had a pick in mind to play the hero Shazam, who will be his arch rival in the movie. Now, he subtly hinted at it in his tweet, which ran something along the lines of this. Basically, fans were able to figure out pretty quick that Dwayne wanted his pick for Shazam to be Armie Hammer. Now, like I said before, Armie Hammer has been heavily speculated to be DC's pick for Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern. So there's been a lot of split opinions on this recently. I think he'd be better suited as a Green Lantern. I don't really see him as being Shazam. Shazam is supposed to be this sort of little kid in a grown-up's body, so I don't really see him being that sort of pick. So it's great that Dwayne has a pick in mind for who he wants the hero to be in his movie, since he is also producing it, but I personally don't think that Armie Hammer would be a good fit for that role. I'm sorry. Also in the same vein, The Rock also revealed that Black Adam would be showing up in an earlier movie than we originally thought, because the Shazam movie doesn't come out until 2019, I believe, so we've got a while to go before we get there, but he said that Black Adam would show up a lot sooner than the Shazam movie, which has led to various speculations. Some people saying that he confirmed that Black Adam was going to show up in the Man of Steel sequel, which we also don't know the title to. I think he might show up in the end of Justice League, or maybe the beginning, because at the beginning of Justice League there's supposed to be this battle between Amazonians, Atlanteans, and humans against the first invasion wave of parademons way back in ancient times. So I think Black Adam might show up there, he might show up at the end. Definitely not in the Man of Steel sequel, because that's still a long way off. So, yeah, we're going to see Black Adam a lot sooner. Another rumor that I want to bring up is Green Arrow. Now, a lot of fans have been favoring actor Charlie Hunnam to be the DCEU Green Arrow, as opposed to DC TV's Stephen Amell, who plays him on the TV show Arrow, which is a good show, by the way. So Charlie Hunnam originally said that he was not interested in playing Green Arrow in the DC movie universe. The reason behind that was simply because he didn't know much about the character. He was not interested in playing Green Arrow. He's not a comic book type of guy. But in a recent interview for his movie King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, he sat down with this guy, and the interviewer basically told him a lot of fans wanted him to be Green Arrow, and basically Hunnam asked, well, why is that? And the guy told him, like, your acting is similar to Green Arrow's personality, you look like him, and as a result of that, Hunnam has basically changed mindset, and he basically said, well, I'm here, DC, make the call, let's make this happen. And a lot of fans have responded positively to this because, like, I've seen it too, Hunnam is practically the perfect Green Arrow, and I'd be really excited to see Green Arrow in the DC movie universe and see how he interacts with other characters like Batman, The Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Aquaman, and any number of other characters. So I'm really stoked about this. I really want to see, like, maybe not full Green Arrow movie, but at least let him appear at like the end of the first Justice League movie, maybe join the League in the second Justice League movie. I don't know. I just want to see Green Arrow show up in the DC movie universe. Now, I was talking about Wonder Woman earlier, so this bit of spoilery type news reveal weighs into that. Jeff Johns recently announced that Wonder Woman will be getting a sequel thanks to reviews among the Warner Brothers Board of Directors and various other figures of power at DC, Warner Brothers Coalition, whatever it is. And so Wonder Woman will be getting a sequel right after the Joss Whedon-directed Batgirl movie. So that's 2 new movies on the ever-expanding slate. That also includes Gotham City Sirens, Nightwing, a Deadshot solo film, The Flash, which has been bumped up by some unspecified amount of time to fit Ezra Miller's shooting schedule with the Fantastic Beasts / Harry Potter universe. So the slate expands, and I'm really excited about that because like DC is one of my favorite comic book houses. They have been for a while, and I'm really excited to see where they're going to be going with their movie universe. Like Marvel's been doing a great job with their movies, but regardless, I'm glad to see that DC is expanding into the movie market with increasing success. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy was huge, everyone loved it, and it was a big commercial success. It just lacked the unification of all the characters that you see in the comics. So the DCEU is definitely a strong selling point for me. Alright guys, I think that's everything for today. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Videos every weekend, you know how the drill goes by now, I think. So I'll see you guys next weekend. It's either Saturday or Sunday, depending on how my schedule goes. See ya!